are pretty dry. I mean, even...
So how's it going today, guys? So today we're out spraying fungicide on wheat.
Well, good morning. We're up here this morning at Robinson. We're looking at fields, trying to figure out if we got any problems or not. We found cutworms last week in a field in Bridgeport, so we're kind of trying to monitor that pretty close. This afternoon, me and Augie and our agronomist are going to go out there and look it over. But yep, there's one of our fields. Looks good to me. I walked out in it up there. So right now we're really looking for cutworm, armyworm, and a couple of other things that'll just go out there and just completely decimate a field. So you won't really find them in beans, you'll find them more in corn, but yeah. They're barely popping up out there. Can hardly even see them. So, yep. Oh well. So I'm gonna start heading back towards town. I don't see any problems up here. It's a good sign. Good sign. You can see where they had the manure pile at right there. It's the worst part about spreading manure is you can always see the pile where they piled it up at. But usually in a year or so it'll start growing crops again on it. Hopefully. Just a lot of compaction and a lot of other things that go along with it right there. That ditch is washed out. It's pretty up here. Nobody really farms straight up to the field like what we do at home, or straight up to the road like what we do at home. They have to have waterways up here though. They don't have ditches and ditch systems like what we do at home, so they have waterways instead. Ways for the water to flow through. So there's always like a bunch of grass everywhere, and yeah. We come up here and we mow it at least twice a summer. Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful crops up here though. I mean, they're all small compared to back home, but I think they got a pretty late start compared to us. Everybody up here did. You know, our corn back home is probably about that tall. It's probably every bit of V4, if not V5. So, yeah.
How's it going today, guys? So today we're out spraying fungicide on the wheat. So, because starting to head out. I'll get up here. I'll show you what I mean by starting to head out. But spraying fungicide, 10 gallon an acre, and we're putting on Mirvis Ace as a fungicide, and then we're putting on some insecticide, and we're putting on boron, which is like the same thing like in your corn. It's like a nutrient supposed to help the plant grow. So help the plant grow and stuff, and more yield, help with yield. So just cruising along. I'll walk a little faster, but it's a little rough out here. I may or may not have put ruts in it when I sprayed it the first time. But you know, you'll have that on the big jobs. So, stop right here for a second. Well, I'll get on my straight roads because I'm using my all-wheel steer right now. So hopefully I'm not running over that much wheat right now. So, I'm trying to get it set up to where I've gone right. Where I sprayed at last time. I cannot talk for some reason. I can never talk, so it's fine. I'll back up here. Alrighty, let's get out and show you the wheat. Yeah, see, it was a little wet. It goes up to here. It's on my shin, but so what I mean by heading out, this is the head of the wheat right here. So that means the right now it is, I forget what stage it's in, but yeah, so the wheat's starting to head out, starting to form its wheat in here. You can see it's it's pollinating. So I'm trying to get it, come out here and spray it before it gets too far along, and because we only got a certain window wheat will accept fungicide and stuff, trying to help protect it against disease and stuff, help it grow. So that's what I'm out doing today. So said let's get after it then.
Another thing about this area up here is there is a lot of people that use manure. I mean, everybody up here does, actually. I mean, it's insane. Back home, nobody really does. Everybody uses fertilizer, but then again, we don't have the same amount of turkey barns like what they do up here. It's nothing to drive down the road and you see this pile sitting here, and they're moving this pile every probably 5 to 15 days. They're moving that pile, they're bringing in more and putting another pile there. I mean, it's crazy. Also, here is the tornado damage right here. Went through. There used to be a trailer house set up here on the other side of this. We got a cornfield right there. So. Yeah, there used to be a trailer house set there and it's just gone. And then there's a cornfield. So most of the time what I'll do, I'll come up here and I'll walk across one field today. I'll come back up tomorrow and I'll walk across another field. But whenever I drive down through here, I'll look out there across the field and you can kind of see the corn's up. You can see the green lines out there, obviously. But then again, on the end row here, you just kind of look and see if you can see any difference in a singulation spot or anything like that. And if you do, then you find multiple of them. That's when you start to get worried. That's when you go out there, you start digging, you start looking a little bit. But I am not seeing anything out there. I mean, from the road, it all looks good, but tomorrow I'll come back up here and I'll walk across that field. So I kind of try to rotate them out a little bit and try to keep a circle going. And then that way I don't get bored with it too. Walking across the same field every day can get kind of boring. So. There's another one of our fields, bean field. And once again, you kind of do the same thing out there. You just look out there and see what you can find. But you ain't gonna find much in that field. The beans are only like this tall. I mean, they ain't very tall at all. They're barely even poking out of the ground yet. So even if we do have a problem, it's not gonna be noticeable for probably another week and a half. So today me and Ross are down here at Steckler's. They finally got the vision working on Ross's Heggie. We ended up having to call a different dealership and they came out and looked at it. One with a wider base and kind of had more of them out there, I guess. They immediately knew what was wrong with it almost. So that was nice. Yeah, anyways, so far today I've done about just shy of 600 acres. I should be pushing 750 to 760 by the time I get done. I got one more field that I want to do today, and then that'll be it for me. And I'm sure Ross will probably do quite a bit more today. So we'll see what ends up happening. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep on jamming out and driving. We're just kind of cruising along. We had a little bit of a mess up down here yesterday, and irrigation decided that it wanted to take off and start walking. And it happened to walk right into Ross's water trailer. So thankfully the water trailer is not messed up, but still at the same time it was kind of a bad deal. Irrigation's flipped over, so yeah. Just got one tower, so if depending on what we end up doing about it, they might just take one part and put one part on it, or put one piece on it, or we'll end up just putting one piece on it, but we might take and plug off the end too. So we don't know what we'll do yet. It just depends on what happens. So yeah, anyways, we're cruising down the road. We got a little farther to go. Oh, and Paige and Maggie are bringing me supper too, so that'd be great. Well, I was gonna make a video, but got another phone call. Anyways, now that I've gotten off the phone again, I'm up here at Russellville. I'd sprayed most of the morning today. I'm currently going down. I'm going to look at the beans down here. We are pretty dry. I mean, even the wet holes are dry. So, it's never a good sign. I mean, for the most part, all of our crops still look decent, but if we don't get a rain by the end of the week or start of next week, we're going to be struggling. We're already cutting it pretty close the way it is. The beans are all looking fine, especially some of the later stuff that was planted mid-April rather than the 1st of April looks pretty good. The 1st of April beans, what's not irrigated, is kind of a little on the dry side, but from what I had seen up here earlier whenever I went and got lunch, we're in a little bit better position than most people. There's some people that haven't even planted yet. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine trying to get a planter in the ground right now. I bet it's hard. So, yeah. I mean, this lane is always muddy, and I'm kicking up dust on it. My sister's calling me now. That's a rare occurrence. But I mean, these beans right here, they look beautiful. They look gorgeous. Some places I can say not the same. Not the same. We've been irrigating wheat. I don't think I ever remember Dad irrigating wheat, but whatever. Gotta do what you gotta do. I'll try and get down and look at a cornfield tonight, or here in a bit, so then you guys can see. But our corn's looking really good in the irrigated spots as well. We're blessed to have irrigations. You can control what water you put on, but you can't control what water you take away. So, I wish this field here had an irrigation on it. Really do. Be a good field if it was irrigated. I mean, it's still a good field, don't get me wrong, but it'd be amazing if it was irrigated. Just expensive. Well, all the corn looks good so far, but right now we're up here at Emerson this morning. Me, Zach, Dad, Xavier, we went up to Emerson, was messing with an irrigation motor. Had to change pump motor out on the irrigation, and then we cut a little bit of wheat yesterday. It's a little too wet still, and my combine is still John Deere getting worked on, so we gotta get that fixed. And then yeah, hopefully today or tomorrow we'll actually start cutting wheat. But like I said, I ain't got my combine yet. They hooked the head onto it and the reel wouldn't work, so trying to get that figured out. They think it's some kind of, they thought it was a hydraulic pump the first time, and then they changed the hydraulic pump, found out it's something else. So I don't know. They ain't even ran across the field yet. So I have to figure out what's gonna happen with it. But everything up here looks about just perfect, and yeah, couldn't be happier with it. But hopefully here in the next couple days we'll start cutting wheat. Hopefully we'll start getting around here a little bit, doing something other than sitting in a cab. I've been stuck in a sprayer for the last like 3 months. It just feels like it just never ends. It gets old after a while. So anyways, we're going back to the farm now, working our way back here. Got a couple other things to check up here, and then gonna hopefully go home. Gotta go cover your wrist first. Yeah. Another day in paradise, looking at more corn. Windy today. I didn't say another day in paradise again. I said that earlier. But anyways, we're back down here looking at corn again. Combine, better situation. We should have a head wagon in the morning for my new head. It's a mess. So for the HD draper, which is the hinge draper, you know, you gotta have a certain kind of a head wagon. And yeah, they're hard to come by, especially a day before wheat harvest. Yeah, we figured that out. The one that they did have for us ended up getting in a wreck on 41, so yeah. But anyways, oh, there's some turtles down there. There's a bunch of turtles in that right there. There's gar in there too. I don't know if you can see them or not, but there's a bunch of them down there. Everything looks good. We are looking a little dry down here compared to what it was up in Emerson. I really wish we had irrigations on these fields here, but can't really find water just anywhere. Maybe eventually we'll end up getting irrigations, but on these 4 or 5 fields here, be nice. Beans really do look good. I mean, they're moving along pretty quick. I'd say we're still about 2 weeks away from being at R1, 2 to 3 weeks, until we get a rain. Corn is a whiles away. All of our corn is knee high though, so that's a good sign. It is the 2nd or 3rd week of June, so we're doing pretty good, I'd say, for right now. Compared to some places and some of the pictures I've seen, I think we're doing pretty good so far. Hopefully we can keep getting a little rain every now and then, not too much, not too little. Really don't want to lose this. It all looks good right now. These beans have had plenty of stress. They're really digging down for nutrients. So need to bring down my little sprayer and spray some of these weeds up along the road with a little hand sprayer or something. There's a piece of mud. There's a rock. As you can tell, it is pretty windy today. I mean, we're looking at 15 to 20 mile an hour winds today. So here's one of the neighbor's wheat fields. I'm surprised they aren't out here cutting yet, actually. Working on irrigation pumps, I'm assuming? I don't really know. Sometimes I wonder if they know what they're doing half the time. But he's sitting there in the bus. He waved. Ooh. The other day, Ross figured out that irrigation can't walk over top of a water truck. Ivers drove by and seen it. I'm assuming as it was flipping over, but hey, the corn's still growing. We need to come down here and drop it off the end of that so we can run that irrigation. Oh, there's still a mud puddle right there. Yeah, that thing walked up 8 feet in the air, 8 or 9 feet in the air before it flipped over finally. Kind of surprising actually, but then again, them things are crazy enough as it is. I've watched them walk over the top of pickups before, so yeah, there ain't no stopping them once I start. Well, some volunteer corn out there. Have to get that when we spray fungicide here in a couple weeks. Make it that far. Yeah, we really went through a pretty bad dry spell there at the first of the year, or the first of the growing season. This last rain that we got pretty good timing on it. Wish we would have got a little bit more, or that they had some more scheduled in a forecast for the next day, and we didn't get any more. We got probably an inch and 5 or 6 tenths, or inch and 2 or 3 tenths, or something like that. It was enough to settle the dust at the time, but yeah. I mean, the river is way down there compared to what it normally is. You can't even really see it. We got a little bit of rain. We still got a little bit of moisture out here. Not too bad. Let's see if we can look out here and see the river. That's the pump. Yeah, it's way down there compared to what it normally is. So hopefully here before long we'll come and put this river pump in too. I think the other one's in, but I don't know. We'll have to look here in a minute. There's a turtle out there swimming. But no, this is where another one of the pumps goes. It's not in there. It looks like if we're gonna put it in, we gotta bring the excavator down here and move that stick out of there. That tree, that's a tree, that's not a stick. Huh. Well, that'll be a problem for tomorrow, I'm sure. We'll do that in the morning. That's pumpkins out there, what it looks like. So we got some more stuff that we need to clean up, some more brush stuff that we need to clean up really pretty good here before long. So hopefully we'll get on that. Anyways, we're gonna go up and look at blood because there's an important thing to talk about there.